Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's rock!
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us, AFR. Presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Cassie Spazzali.
Oh, look what you made me do. Look what you made me do.
Jordan Kitchens.
Jordan, 20-footer, head of the key, good!
And Mr. Toby Tom Blake. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. It's 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. Just a minute here, Brian Smith is going to join us. He is the national recruiting expert for the Locked On Podcast Network. His show is Locked On the Portal. Like, you know, I host Locked On LSU. Well, he's Locked On the Portal, but he covers the portal, recruiting, NIL, all of that. And it's busy recruiting time here as look, July 1st, it's coming up on Wednesday, is going to be a really massive day for recruiting, as a lot of prospects are set to make their commitment, their announcements on July 1st. There's a handful that LSU's keeping an eye on. And then also the opening was this past week and weekend, and Pop Houston, LSU's quarterback commit, was there. And so we're going to keep an eye on that. We'll talk about all that with Brian here in just a minute. Having a little phone issue. Brian's supposed to be dialing us, so as soon as he dials us, we'll hop on with it. One thing real quick while we wait on Brian to dial us, and we're texting. He said, just give me 1 second. So he'll be on here in a second. One thing we have not yet gotten a chance to talk about is Marcus Paz, who on Friday after we were off the air, the news broke, Kendall Rogers had it first, that Marcus Paz was entering the transfer portal. And the first call I got was Texas A&M was the one interested in Marcus Paz. And I think there are some things that you can make a very natural assumption about. I could say it out loud, but I think we all understand. This is no judgment whatsoever. This is how this era works. Every player has an agent, and agents, their job is to go seek the best deal for their client. And so Paz, who was set to return to LSU, the portal opened on on June 1st. And then on June 26th, 4 weeks later, he enters the portal. Well, what do you think happened? I mean, you can make certain deductions there based on circumstantial evidence. And so what I was told was that A&M was the target there. But what also happens is when a player goes into the transfer portal, when you're now formally in the portal, teams can contact you. And so when Paz officially enters the portal, then other teams who might not have known that he was available and leaving LSU, they might reach out. So as I was told today, Texas has also gotten in the mix for Marcus Paz, as has Georgia. So Texas, Georgia, Texas A&M. Still feels like A&M is the leader, with Texas and Georgia maybe nipping on their heels. So we'll see how that all plays out. But Jay Johnson, this was on May 5th. Jay Johnson had this to say about Marcus Paz.
You know, one of the positives about, how this has gone is being able to, get some of these guys some opportunities. And, I firmly believe he's going to challenge to pitch at the top of the rotation next year. And, I think that was good to be able to see that. And then we'll get another rep at that against one of the best offensive teams in the country this weekend, and then the next week against Florida. So, I mean, when you look at the great pitchers that we've had, several of them from the transfer portal, but, even one like Cade Anderson, he did not get 4 starts as a freshman in SEC play, and that's what Marcos is going to have. And with his talent and that experience, I think that's a great combo pushing us forward into next year.
So Jay Johnson was saying in no uncertain terms, he thought Marcus Paz was going to be able to compete to be at the top of the rotation in 2027. And now that may happen, but it won't be in Baton Rouge. Brian Smith jumps aboard with us here, host of Locked On the Portal. covers transfer portal, recruiting, NIL. He's on X at FB_Scout_Florida. Great resource talking recruiting. Brian, we appreciate the time, man. How are you?
Doing well, sir. How about yourself?
I'm doing awesome. You sent me a text on Friday evening. Total Rivals blue chip recruits combined for 26 and 27. What's your biggest takeaway when you look at that list with Notre Dame at the top at 38, followed by Miami, Texas A&M, Southern Cal, Ohio State on? What's your biggest takeaway when you look at that list?
Well, money is king. You can devise a roster however you want, but if you don't have money, you're not in the game. Everybody does their rosters differently. LSU, honestly, it's ironic that you texted me today to come on the show because they are the most difficult team to kind of figure out because Lane is Lane.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to find guys differently. So he's not down the center. He finds guys, obviously, Trinidad going to Ole Miss after being, what was he, Division II?
Yeah.
Like he finds guys all over. So he's harder to follow. But the money is the bottom line. Look at the teams at the top of that list and you go, okay, well, these schools got cash. Like Oregon, they got the greatest booster in the history of college football. In case you don't know, owning Nike is profitable. So it really it's profitable. I don't know if you've heard about that, but it's straightforward now, and there's no putting the genie back in the bottle. Although that will be a complete failure. That's not going to happen. But I think it's not really surprising, and I don't think anybody's look. If you look at the teams down at the bottom of that, what do you see, Matt? Big 12 and ACC all over the place, like teams with less than 10 commits that are 4- and 5-star guys. Yeah. That's like some of them are 0. Like the gap is widening and it's massive. So the LSUs, the Notre Dames, the Oregons, the Miamis, teams that got money, whether portal or high school, the gap is definitely getting bigger.
What LSU is sitting there with 22, but so this is for the 26 and 27 high school classes. Has 27 blue chips or 22 blue chip prospects. That means 4 or 5-star prospects. But you have Notre Dame at the top with 38, Miami, Texas A&M with 34, Florida's at 29, Texas, Georgia at 28. I'm looking at SEC schools. Is LSU falling behind in high school recruiting?
I don't think they're falling behind. I think they're choosing to spend their money a little differently. They're the most, I think, moving forward, I could be wrong on this, the most balanced, Matt, between portal in high school, because as you know, you've lived in Louisiana, you throw a rock, you're going to hit a kid that's at least a 3-star. So it's not very difficult in that state. It's the best in some years per capita of the NFL based on draft class, and it's always top 10. So Lane has already had the advantage of recruiting Mississippi, Arkansas, Texas, Louisiana, because he was at Ole Miss. Now he just goes, I mean, it's why Saban told him to take the job in Baton Rouge. It's not that hard. So you'll see that number go up, but he had to go and change the roster this year. So I don't put a lot of stock in the LSU number being lower. Talk to me in 2 years. Now, if he divulges that he just wants to do portal, I'll be the first guy to come on your show and say bad things because that's a terrible idea. In that state, you don't have to try hard. You just got to keep the local kids home. And we know which ones we're talking about, like the Richard Andersons of the world. Mm-hmm. If you keep those kids home, you'll be fine. You should take 12 to 14 kids minimum out of the state of Louisiana a year. And probably 8 to 10 of those are going to be blue chips minimum. And you'll be fine. In a couple of years, that number for 2 year will be 29 to 32. But they had to change the roster with the portal, so it's a little off.
Retention is such a key too, and it's been something we've talked about a lot here, Brian. Why pay the blue chip guys, the top tier guys, to come for a year if they're not going to play and then ultimately leave? So it's interesting. You're right how Lane is choosing to do this, but one of the guys that a couple of the blue chip guys that are leaving the state are guys like Elijah Haven. Now we know Albert Simeon is leaving as well. But I wanted to get your thoughts on Peyton Houston because, listen, I'm one hand in the air that when the last staff and this staff made the decision to focus on Pop Houston instead of Elijah Haven, I didn't say it was a bad decision. It's just one that, look, you're going to have to live by, right? I mean, you're choosing between 2 great options here, but you better choose correctly. They've clearly chosen Houston, and he seems like he's had a great summer. Can you give us just a little bit of insight into what you've seen near and from afar from Peyton Houston?
I've seen him multiple times, tournaments, Rivals 5-star, Under Armour camps, etc. 2 things stand out. Number one, he doesn't have a good arm, Matt. He has a cannon. So, I mean, like the one thing I was joking with Andrew Ivins the first time we saw him at Future 50 last year down at IMG, take something off of it. Like I don't want to be the one that catches his warm-up passes. Like he's the guy you got to put the extra padding in if you're the catcher. So that's one thing. Like he will never have concern over that. And then number two, I mean, the offense that he plays in now up there at the program that's famous for throwing the ball around up in Shreveport, I don't know if he's going to be used in the same way that Lane will use him. And I heard your podcast talking about, hey, look, most guys don't make it at LSU at quarterbacks. It's hard. They take transfers. So does everybody else. This kid fits what Lane does, and I know he's going to get compared to a certain guy that's still in Oxford, Mississippi, which not fair, but they're the same kind of size. He's 5'10", 200 pounds, and rocked up. So he's a guy that can run. He's a guy that can do all the things that Lane wants. I think he can be a star. And to be honest, he's a better fit for Kiffin's offense than Elijah. And Elijah was at the same thing. Like I've seen Elijah, he fits the profile. He's 230 pounds or so now. He's a big dude. But I think Lane's offense works better with a mobile guy. So I don't have any problem with it.
Music to LSU fans' ears. And I think Lane Kiffin obviously has earned the trust and the benefit of the doubt in these situations. It's one that, for better or worse, Brian, like fans are going to watch and make that comparison with a kid from Baton Rouge that's going to Alabama and then with Pop Houston coming in. But, man, he has rewarded that trust so far here in this offseason. A couple more. Brian Smith's our guest. If you're not subscribed, Locked On the Portal. Recruiting, transfer portal, NIL. It's a great daily resource. Make sure you subscribe podcast or YouTube. It's always free, as is everything on the Locked On Podcast Network. I wanted to ask about the prospects that we're staring at ahead this week. In July 1, it looks like it's going to be a huge commitment day. From an LSU perspective, Brian, what should we be keeping an eye on?
Anything can happen. I'm not going to go into the details, but I got burned on a kid about a week ago that I knew he was going on to a school, and then I watched the announcement, he didn't. So that's the first thing. Anything is possible in this area, and I'm sure that you talk about that quite a bit on your shows. Number two, like the kid, I was just looking at his profile, the Jaden Anding kid out of, I believe he's at Ruston.
Yeah.
He's announcing, I think this week, I don't know if it's the first, but you can't lose that kind of recruit historically if you're LSU and feel good about it. I assume they've put their best foot forward. But that's the kind of kid that LSU, that I grew up watching, the 80s, 90s, early 2000s. That's the kid that redshirts, then his second year plays some, then his third year you're starting free safety or whatever. And Louisiana's full of those kids. So that's the first thing. But I'm also looking at one other thing. I don't know who it is. You probably know this answer better than I do, Matt. That state, again, is loaded. The 18th best player in the state of Louisiana, whoever it is probably better than the 5th best player than most states. It's not fair. But it's just loaded, and I know you like it as an LSU guy, so there's nothing wrong for you.
I'm here for it.
There's probably one or two guys that are on their board that we, like you and I have a phone conversation, we may not even know, and it's still only late June, early July. There's going to be a couple more guys pop up that came to their camp that will play well this fall. They're playing their hand pretty close to the vest because, Lane's experience in the portal. Don't be surprised they add a few more high school kids this summer. Don't be surprised they add a few more in the fall, but next year is the class that we'll talk more. I expect LSU to have a top 3 class in the nation next year because they won't need to use the portal beyond that this upcoming year very much. Lane should have his roster where he needs. And if they're taking a whole bunch of kids more this summer, that would actually kind of concern me.
By the way, the 18th best player in Louisiana is Javon Vidal from Lake Charles. He's committed to Southern Cal. So
that's what I mean. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
And Marquez Davis is the 19th best, who is committed to LSU as the cornerback out of Opelousas.
There you go.
Yeah.
So
pretty good guess. Hey, before you go, do you have a feeling on? Everyone here is talking about Easton Royal and Jalen Brewster and the possibility of LSU flipping a couple of kids committed to schools in Texas. You have a feeling on how either one of those? I'm not pinning you against the wall here. Just a feeling on how either one of those goes.
I know Brewster a little bit, but I've been around Easton more, and I've had conversations with him numerous times about this stuff, and he's like one of the fastest kids I've ever seen. I watched him run a 4.29. Got it on film. Like he's legit NFL player. Great kid too. He told me that when he committed to Texas, he liked the staff and all that stuff, and they didn't even offer him the most. So whoever gets him, whether it's LSU or whoever, they're going to have to impress him on and off the field. So this one is hands in the air. I don't know, because he's never going to have the phone stop ringing. If you're Kiffin, it shouldn't be a real hard sell. But then again, the kid lives in Slidell and goes to Brother Martin down in New Orleans. He's familiarized with LSU to the umpteenth degree. Heck, he drives through Baton Rouge when he goes to Texas for unofficial, like literally.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to tell you on that one, but something tells me that recruitment will not be over until signing day. Brewster, on the other hand, now that Ed O's a part of the program, have you ever seen a guy that wants to recruit D linemen more than Ed?
No.
I haven't either. I followed recruiting my whole life. That one has a chance to be very interesting. And it's amazing how LSU, Matt, was all of a sudden in the building with him as soon as Big Ed got on campus. Not that they weren't recruiting, but like they made serious headway. I don't put that as anything other than just obvious. Ed matters. He's one of the best recruiters I've ever seen. And he's put a lot of guys in the NFL at that spot. So I wouldn't be surprised if they flipped him either.
He is undeniable. Ed Ogeron is undeniably in the perfect job for him. Recruit
100%.
coach D-line at LSU. It's no
absolutely.
He's Brian Smith at FB_Scout_Florida. If you want to follow him on X, then make sure you go subscribe to Locked on the Portal podcast, YouTube, always free. We appreciate it, man. We'll be in touch.
All right, brother. Take care.
Thank you, man. It's After Further Review. Brought to you by Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com. Hey, listen, if you're hitting the road for vacation coming up, got that check engine light on, maybe it's time to get the oil changed, the tires rotated, maybe you need new tires. Driving to the beach, maybe you're going up to Tennessee to do the whole, youth baseball thing this summer. Wherever you're going, make sure your car is in tip-top shape, ready to roll to get you and your family where you're going safely. Shaw Bills can help make that happen. They got locations all over South Louisiana. So find the location nearest you at ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com. You can shop tires, you can schedule service, you can chat with an associate, you can do it all on the website at ShawBillsTire.com. And remember, if you need to buy tires, well, that sucks. It just does. Nobody wants to buy tires. Nobody does. Like, that's not something you're like, yeah, I get to buy tires today. No, it sucks. So, but you got to have them. So you want to get the best tires at the cheapest price. That's Shaw Bills. They guarantee you they're going to sell you the name brand tires at wholesale prices. And because they're going to treat you awesome, they're going to keep you coming back year after year after year. It's Shaw Bills. ShawBillsTire.com. Shaw Bills. We keep you rolling. All right, thanks so much to Brian Smith for hanging out. Because we got a late start with Brian there. We went a little long. Break, we'll catch up. Demario Davis gave an interesting interview to Rich Cimini of ESPN New York and said something that might floor you. We'll talk about it next on AFR.
After Further Review.
YourGoodwood.com. YourGoodwood.com. Lowest prices, never any contracts. Lowest prices. Heard what I said? Lowest prices, never any contracts at Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. If you're already on hormone replacement therapy, and a lot of men are, and I'm fired up about that, by the way. Like, the fact that we are removing the stigma. I was having a conversation with a buddy of mine who's 48. This was just this past week. And had testosterone levels that had dipped below 100, which is insane to think. Got on hormone replacement therapy, is at a healthy level now, and has regained his life, his vitality, his energy, his ability to go to the gym, work out, have waking energy, sleep well at night, libido, everything. Like, all of those things are controlled by our hormones. And as we age, our bodies produce less of them. And it has nothing to do specifically with your age because it happens at a different rate in everybody. Get your blood labs done. YourGoodwood.com. YourGoodwood.com. Lowest prices, never any contracts. YourGoodwood.com.
After Further Review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
All right, Jimmy will be here in about 20 minutes for Otter Locks. We always appreciate Jimmy for being here. By the way, you can get Otter Locks for free always over at LouisianaSports.net. We'll get those posted here shortly. Actually, Hunt is at the beach, so he normally posts that at 3 o'clock. We'll make sure we get that process in place better for the rest of the week. Ran across this today. Demario Davis gave an interview with Rich Cimini of ESPN New York. I should say the Jets reporter at ESPN.com. And Davis is heading into his 15th NFL season. You know how I feel about this. I'm devastated that the man of God is no longer a New Orleans Saint. On a personal level, because I'm a giant fan of his. And I also think it was a very bad roster decision that the Saints made. Now, time may prove me to be wrong and the Saints right in letting Demario walk in free agency. But we know what it was. Demario got a multi-year deal with guaranteed money from the Jets. The Saints were not willing to give a 37-year-old linebacker a multi-year deal with that guarantees. It's the old Sean Payton axiom. You'd rather get rid of a player a year too early than a year too late. And that's the decision they made. So they let Demario Davis walk, and they brought in Caden Ellis. But I saw this today in this interview Demario Davis did with Rich Cimini of ESPN, where Demario told Rich Cimini he spends nearly $1 million a year keeping himself fit for the rigors of the NFL. Quote, I go from the field to the table, from the table to the field. What I mean by that is when I'm not training, I'm recovering. When I'm not recovering, I'm training. Davis went on, quote, my body is my company, and the brand that comes from playing the game is my company. If I don't reinvest in the engine of the company and the brand of the company, I just don't think that's wise. I just try to be a good steward of what's been given. You want to know why Demario Davis has not regressed at 37? That's why. Why is Demario Davis at 37 able to do what most NFL players and most NFL linebackers are not able to do? Because Demario Davis does what most NFL players and most NFL linebackers don't do, and that's invest $1 million a year into his body. The list that Davis gave Cimini of what he spends on: acupuncture, radio frequency energy stimulation, naturopathic medicine, chiropractic care, muscle activation, cupping, scraping, dry needling therapy, red light therapy, fascia stretching, hot and cold tubs, Epsom salt baths, active release therapy, and he has a personal chef who makes him a high-protein diet with red meat and foods that limit inflammation. Why is Demario Davis at 37 able to play like he's 27? Because biologically, functionally, he is. Because he takes care of himself in a maniacal way. This only, for me, further underscores the mistake that New Orleans made in letting Demario Davis walk. And yes, my hand is in the air. I am insanely biased. Y'all, I sat there on Radio Row, and this man gave me 2 arm sleeves. Like that one, right? This one right here, this white and gold arm sleeve that he's wearing in this. Can you go full screen on that one, Cassie? This arm sleeve right here that he's wearing, he gave me one of them at Super Bowl. And he gave me a Man of God arm sleeve. So I'm a fan, right? I'm telling you candidly, like, I'm a fan. But I'm also not blind. Demario Davis, the last 2 years of his career, has had the 2 most productive years of his NFL career. Last year, he had 143 tackles, the most in his career. In 2024, 136 tackles, the second most in his career. In 14 NFL seasons, he has missed 1 game. He has missed 1 game in 14 NFL seasons. I, for the life of me, cannot understand why the New Orleans Saints let him walk. I know their logic, but sometimes you have to be able to look at, it's like the analytics world in baseball. sometimes the analytics say steal on the next pitch or throw a breaking ball in this count. But if you're watching the game, the breaking ball probably isn't the best pitch. You should probably go fastball away or jam him on the hands, right? This feels like one of those where without context, you look at a 37-year-old linebacker and you go, man, you're going to pay that guy a multi-year contract with that much guaranteed money? Nah, you can't do that. But then you actually look at the nuance of this situation and you go, why wouldn't you? Now, my hope is that Caden Ellis is awesome in coming back to New Orleans. And Caden Ellis, when he got re-signed by the Saints, of course, he was drafted by the Saints, signed as a free agent with Atlanta, now he's coming back. But Caden Ellis was asked about replacing Demario Davis.
It'd be very daunting. He's a special player, special man, special leader. That's not what it is. I'm coming here to be Caden Ellis and be me. I've got great people around me, great teammates, great coaches, and the leadership will be dispersed throughout the team because Demario's got a special voice, and that's not what I'm here for.
The whole is greater than the sum of the parts. I think Caden Ellis could be very good, but Caden Ellis is not going to be Demario Davis, and they were going to try to replace Demario Davis and all the things he brought with a multitude of people, and I think that is easier said than done. Now, Ellis has had 3 straight 100-tackle seasons. It was 122 in 23, then 151, and then this past year, 107. 17 games in all those seasons, so he has been a durable player. He's played in all 17 games each of the last 4 years during his 3 seasons in Atlanta, his last season in New Orleans. So Caden Ellis has been durable, which is great to see. But he's got a steep hill to climb. When Kellen Moore, after Demario Davis left, Kellen Moore was asked if it was Demario Davis's age, if that factored into the decision to let him walk.
I don't want to go into all the negotiating aspects of these things just because it's not fair to anyone. But obviously we know we love Demario, and so this thing worked out, with Caden having the opportunity to come here, and really excited about it.
We'll see. All I got to say is, you better be right. I get playing hardball with Cam Jordan because he's a declining player. Last year, playing 50% of the defensive snaps and having double-digit sacks, that's an outlier. Each of the previous 3 seasons, he was regressing. And listen, he's called out Todd Grantham, and maybe that was it. Maybe it's a change. The coaching staff helped in Staley's defense. I hope that's the case. I hope it is. I hope Cam goes has another double-digit sack season. Am I banking on it? No, I'm not. With Demario Davis, it doesn't matter who the coach is, who the defensive coordinator is, where he's been. He's been a durable, available, productive player. And he's a great leader. And he spends $1 million a year on his body. That's why you have confidence he's going to stay performing at a high level. So we'll see. All right, we are almost home, y'all. We're brought to you by Rouse's, official supermarket of the Saints. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. 4th of July, right around the bend, y'all. Saturday, we celebrate 250 years of America. Red-blooded American fury. You want to go get burgers and dogs and beers and Cokes and everything you get, apple pie, America. You go to Rouse's. What are Rouse's colors? Red and white. I know we need some blue in there, but the point is, it's Rouse's because it's America. Great local retailer. You're getting ready for the 4th of July. Everything you need. Chips and dips and dogs and burgers and buns and drinks and everything. Get on by Rouse's, the official supermarket of America. They're the official supermarket of the Saints. Actually, I learned in marketing, you can say things like the official supermarket of America, because that's actually, anybody can say you're the official whatever of summer, because you can't actually, there's nothing you can go to contract with summer to be, so you can say it. So I guess I'm good saying America, because you can't really contract to be the official supermarket of America. So I'm just going to say that. But they are the official supermarket of the Saints. Rouse's.com. Rouse's, this feels like home. All right, y'all, it's AFR. Let me knock out a break. Jaron Pierre was introduced to the media today in New Orleans. If you missed it, we had Andrew Lopez with us an hour ago, Pelican sideline reporter. Jaron Pierre from St. Aug in New Orleans was introduced today, 58th pick of the draft, the Pels' only pick. And, man, it's undeniable. You have a guy that wants to be here. He's home playing for the team that he grew up cheering for, which is an awesome thing. Well, let's hear a little bit from Jaron Pierre when we come back. You want to get involved, you can email us, tweet us, text us, 225-396-4400, 396-4400. Jimmy will be here in about a dozen minutes. It's AFR.
After further review.
Get Gordon. Get it done. Gordon McKernan, injury attorneys. Actually had a buddy who unfortunately was in a car wreck over the weekend, driving a vacation, and texted me, said, hey, car wreck, who at Gordon's office do you think could help us? So pass along contact. But the bottom line is, if you're here, if you're at home or anywhere in Louisiana, or even if you're out of the state, Gordon's team of attorneys can help you, even if you're in an accident on the way to vacation. So get Gordon and get it done. Go to getgordon.com, getgordon.com. If you're out of state, that introduces this whole other complexity of laws and states and legalities and whatever. But Gordon and his team are ready to help. No matter where you are in the state of Louisiana, getgordon.com, getgordon.com, or call 888-8888, 888-8888 for Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. You know what to do. Get Gordon and get it done.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and we do shutters too.
All right, rolling along here in hour number 3, presented by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Windows, doors, siding, shutters, and shades. Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Earlier today, the New Orleans Pelicans introduced Jaron Pierre. They only had one pick. It was the 58th pick, back of round 2, the definition of a flyer. But this feels like anything but. Joe Dumars talked about taking no pick for granted, and any opportunity that this franchise has to improve their roster, they need to take it. But Jaron Pierre, the fascinating thing is, this is a kid from New Orleans who went to St. Aug and then had sort of this nomadic college career, as a lot do nowadays because of NIL, from Southern Miss and Wichita State and Jacksonville State, and then SMU this past season. He played at 4 schools in 5 years, and now is as a 6'6" guard and can get his shot. Led the country in scoring a couple of years ago at Jacksonville State. Is now in New Orleans playing for his hometown team. And he did talk about St. Aug and the impact that playing at Aug and going to Aug had on him.
Toughness. I say it's really like toughness. Just tough, having heart. Being from there, like, it's hard to make it out of that. It's hard to make it from New Orleans, but St. Aug discipline you a lot. Like, they do a lot of things in those closed doors over there at St. Aug that really help you to be a man, even outside of your sport. So just being a man till this day, like, St. Aug help you in a lot of ways.
And he was also talked about what it means for him to be able to play as number 3, to be able to play for his hometown team.
I mean, everything, man. From watching those games when I was young to now, everybody come and watch me play now, so it's a big life change, like full circle for me. Like, I grew up watching the Pelicans, so now I'm playing for the Pelicans. Like, it's beautiful.
It's going to be fascinating to see because, listen, let's just be real, man. If you're a second-round pick, especially a late second-round pick, you are far from a guarantee to make the team. This is a flyer. And so I am super hopeful in listening to Jaron Pierre that he makes this team, because the New Orleans Pelicans need storylines and players and things that can set the hook with the casual fan, because people aren't going to show up just because the games are being played. That's pretty evident. But when they are good and when they are relevant and when you have things to cheer for, people will lock into this team. I've seen it, but we've all seen it before, man. And look, there's part of me as a radio host that desperately wants them to be good so I have more content for the show. But the other part of it is someone from New Orleans who loves the teams in the state and wants them to do well. Like, I want them to be good and relevant because of that also. So that is my sincere hope, that it can work out that way with Jaron Pierre, that he's someone that sort of galvanizes this fan base. And we've seen it before, man. I mean, Jose Alvarado was a player like that. Josh Hart was a player like that, where you have guys that this fan base, latches on to and attaches to. But it's going to take more than a 23-year-old who's the 58th pick in the draft to make this team relevant. And you just won 26 games, and the only addition you've made so far is a late second-round pick. Free agency's about to begin. The legal tampering period's underway. You've already seen Ja Morant move to Portland. Like, there's going to be more. I mean, there's talks of AD and LeBron, a reunion with them in Golden State, whatever. But I'm hopeful. I am not optimistic because this franchise has given me no reason ever to believe that they're going to get it right. Even when they've had the number one pick in the draft twice, they still managed to screw it up. I mean, they took the right guys, but haven't been able to build competitive rosters around them, championship caliber rosters. On the flip side, you see Wemby go to San Antonio, and in year 3, they're in the finals. I mean, Wemby's probably played more games in 3 years than Zion has in his whole career. I don't know that for a fact, but it's probably close. So I'll take it with a grain of salt. I'll be hopeful. I'll be pulling for the local guy with the opportunity to make his hometown team, which is a really cool story. Hey, real quick, we're going to get to Jimmy for Otter Locks. Real quick, I want to remind you, Parish Construction and Roofing, we are giving away 2 fortified roofs. And we are getting really good at giving stuff away. We've given away in the last year $50,000 cash, and now we're giving away 2 roofs. A fortified roof to a Baton Rouge area homeowner and a fortified roof to a New Orleans area homeowner. For more information, easy, just go to parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Right there on the homepage, you'll see right there on the homepage, there's 2 shields where it says you're the roof giveaway. One says New Orleans, one says Baton Rouge. Whichever area you live, Greater New Orleans, Greater Baton Rouge, click that relevant link and go fill out the form. Cassie, would you mind just clicking one of those links, please? Just click one of those, and it'll take you right to the form that you fill out. Do not fill out the form on the homepage of the website. Click the link that takes you to the form, okay? I'd appreciate that greatly. And that's how you can enter to win a fortified roof giveaway. Somebody is going to win a free fortified roof. There's no purchase. You don't have to do anything. There's no inspection. None of that stuff. We're just giving away a fortified roof to 2 Louisiana homeowners, one in the Greater Baton Rouge area, one in Greater New Orleans. Go to parishbuilt.com to enter, parishbuilt.com. Do business with someone you know. That's me and Terry and Tilly and our whole staff and our new partner, Drew Brees. Parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. All right, it is after further review. So are we going to be able to get Jimmy or not? Our phones
yes, we'll be able to get Jimmy. We're going to FaceTime him. On the computer, yeah.
Okay. Are we going to put Jimmy's face on the screen?
I told him he doesn't have to show his face, but if he wanted to show his face, he can.
Let's go. So our phones, I don't know what has happened, but the phones in studio have just died.
It happened at the top of the 3rd hour.
Yeah.
And we just had phone guests.
That was great, though, because we had Brian Smith on video.
He was ready to go.
My guy. He's really good. Love talking to Brian. Okay. Jordan, the Pelicans going to win over under 26 and a half next year.
Over 26, under 42. So, over 26 would be a slight improvement from the last 2 seasons, but no, they're not going to jump off the porch and just take the West by storm. No. Nah.
You realize they have the same exact roster right now as they did when they won 26 games.
Oh, yeah. And the year before that, well, I guess Brandon Ingram was a part of the other one. But, yeah. Pretty much.
But you think that this roster is going to go all of a sudden be awesome?
I think they're not done. I don't think this is the final piece. As much as I would like Zion and Herb to move on, and I think Zion will be here. We'll see what happens with Herb. I still think there's moves underway. Not Jaylen Brown, but something happening.
Okay. I'm sure it's going to be awesome. I'm sure it's going to be an all-NBA player coming to New Orleans. That's what's going to happen.
Nah.
Yeah. Nah. Exactly.
Nah.
Of course it's not going to happen because they're going to screw it up because it's what they always do.
Yeah.
And if you want to hear about a terrible basketball team, you could listen to Jordan's podcast, the Pelican Scoop podcast.
On YouTube.
And podcast?
Yeah, on Spreaker too. You want to type it in. Apple Music, Spotify.
Go subscribe to Pelican Scoop and listen to this podcast about a terrible basketball team that Jordan does.
Yeah. I do a good job. Views are up. Subscribers are up. I guess it's that time of the season. Usually when the season starts and they do Pelicans things, it goes down. But off-season wise, I do great every May, June when people care again. So, yeah, type in right now.
Jordan just co-signed himself.
Yeah.
I do a great job.
I do a great job, y'all. I'm telling y'all.
I think we let the audience determine if you do a great job. But, yeah, Pelican Scoop, go subscribe because that's what everybody wants.
Little Pelicans, keep the doctor away.
They're going to screw it up. They just are. I know it'd be sad. All right, it's after further review. Final break. Jimmy will be here next for Otter Locks.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Clegg's Nursery with 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. Seagan near Airline, LA 16, and Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. Y'all, 4th of July is Saturday. You having people over? You want some red, white, and blue flowers? Why wouldn't you? Who wouldn't want red, white, and blue flowers? That sounds awesome. How about you put some red, white, and blue flowers into your patio pots, your flower beds, add that pop of color. Man, I'm going to tell you what, Clegg's got it for you. Buy local, shop local, any of the locations in the greater Baton Rouge area, greenhouses with flowers as far as the eye can see. So get on by today and see our friends over at Clegg's Nursery. And if you need beautiful outdoor decor from garden flags or outdoor doormats or anything from tuned wind chimes or the things to keep the pests away, Clegg's has you covered. So buy local, shop local, and be sure to tell them Matt sent you in when you go see our friends at Clegg's Nursery. We're brought to you by ProForm Steel, ProFormLA.com, ProFormLA.com. This is really easy, y'all. Need a metal building? ProForm Steel. And by the way, at ProForm Steel, they produce everything in their facility. Purling, sheet metal, beam, fab, everything right there in their building on Airline in Gonzales. ProFormLA.com. Metal buildings built right from design to delivery. And when I mention delivery, by the way, with ProForm Steel, every building, every single one, free delivery. You buy a building from them. Doesn't matter if it's a shed for your backyard or a great big giant industrial building. ProForm Steel will deliver it for free. ProFormLA.com. Get your quote online right now. It's ProFormLA.com.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
All right, down the stretch we come. Final segment here on this Monday edition of AFR presented by Relief Windows. We appreciate Brandon Holly and the gang over at Relief Windows. Man, they do awesome work, and they've been partners with us here for more than a decade. Windows, doors, siding, shutters, and shades, Relief Windows, and ReliefWindows.com. It's just really, really easy to endorse a great company with great people. I just know that if you ever call Relief Windows, they're never going to be the cheapest. That's just their thing. They're not going to be the cheapest. If you're calling 10 companies to get the best price, they're not going to be the cheapest. But they will be the best. The best windows, the best quality, the best customer service, true lifetime transferable warranty. We appreciate Brandon and the gang over at Relief Windows as always. Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Okay, having trouble getting Jimmy, so we'll just handle Otter Locks ourselves. Can you just give me the Otter Locks outro music or the Otter Locks music there? Just give me a little music bed here as we come down the home stretch, and I'll tell everybody. Whoa. Whoa. There we go. All right, so Jimmy did send Otter Locks. They are posted over at LouisianaSports.net if you want to get them there. We got a 4-pack from the Ott Father. We got 1 World Cup matchup and 3 on the diamond tonight. So here are your baseball plays. We've got Toronto on the money line, minus $1.31. Milwaukee Brewers, minus $1.37. I'm sorry, there are 4 baseball games. So a 5-pack tonight. The Dodgers, minus $1.14. And then the Miami Marlins on the run line. That's minus 1.5 runs. Obviously, it's plus 105 are your odds there. So Toronto, Milwaukee, and the Dodgers on the money line. Miami on the run line. And then in the World Cup, how about this? A plus 500 action. A draw in Netherlands against Morocco. So there you have it. Those are your Otter Locks tonight. Toronto, Milwaukee, the Dodgers, Miami on the money line, Miami on the run line, and then the World Cup, Netherlands, Morocco draw is what Jimmy is calling for. I'm a little bummed I didn't get to talk to my friend the Oddfather because I'm gone for like 2 weeks now. You're not going to see me again until Monday the 13th. So Musso's in. I'm heading to New York tomorrow for the Barrett Sports Media Conference. And when I get back on Thursday, Friday, my family's going to the beach, and I'm out all next week. So little work, little play, but that time of year where most people get your vacations in because football season's right around the bend, y'all. And when we get back from the beach, man, we will be just staring down the barrel of SEC football media days down in Tampa, and I could not be more excited for it. So Musso will be back tomorrow, and he'll host the days I'm out. So it'll be the rest of this week. Everyone's off Friday. Everyone's off Friday for the 4th of July. And then back for a full week next week. What are y'all doing for the 4th?
A little family time, get a little grub,
you don't have
barbecue.
You don't have to do
oh no. Told you they're getting soft. Told you they're getting soft, man.
When Jordan produces live at lunch with Ott and Hanny. And they work every holiday, bro. Every holiday. One. So Jordan, unfortunately, when the rest of the staff always has off, Jordan's still working there. Cassie, 4th of July plans?
Well, I was going out of town, so I'm just going to hang out with some friends. Don't really have anything specific planned yet.
All right. I'll see y'all in 2 weeks. Have a great one. I'm out.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, remind you about Evermore, EVAMOR, evermore.com, evermore.com. I usually have the 64-ounce bottle on the set. But if you're watching today, I got the 32-ounce bottle because I keep the 64-ounce bottles at home, and I grab one when I come to work every day. Well, I was out of them at home. So I went into the fridge where we keep both the 20 and 32-ounce bottles. So I keep this 32-ounce bottle I've been drinking from today. EVAMOR, evermore.com, evermore.com. That's the website where you can order online or you can find great local retailers. Listen, it's the summer. You know that. Look at a calendar. Or just step outside because it's 1,000,000 degrees. You got to remember to stay hydrated. And with Evermore, this is natural artesian water, straight from the source. Nothing added, nothing taken away. I would highly encourage you. You drink some of those other bottles of water, look at the label. Minerals added for flavor or this or that. Straight from the source, natural water, it's Evermore. EVAMOR, evermore.com.